What's up, YouTube? Heathens here. Wanted to do a quick little video about how I fuel as a solo driver. I've learned this method a while back when I first started this career. But basically, how I fuel here at Prime is I don't really use the macro 27 too often. Usually I do it to see if maybe there's a spot that I don't know that has cheaper fuel. But normally I'll plan my route all the way through until, from point A to shipper to, point B, which is the receiver. And basically I'll get my actual miles off of my GPS of what it should be about. And then I divide it by 7 miles to the gallon. Yes, there's times where I get better than 7. Actually, most of the time I get better than 7. There's very rare occasion that I get under 7, and it's usually when I'm fully 80,000 pounds going up West Virginia or Donner Pass or Eisenhower. It's usually that kills my fuel mileage. But for the most part, I get, anywhere from 8.5 to 9.5 with the 2020 Peterbilt. So basically, what I do is I calculate all the miles that I have and divide it by 7 miles to the gallon. So for instance, if I have to do 700 miles, I'll divide it by 7. That will give me 100 gallons that I need to complete the trip. And another reason why I do 7 is because even though knowing that I get more than 7 miles to the gallon, this enables the fact that it will give me extra fuel without having to put on extra fuel on purpose to get from the receiver to my next fueling spot. Because I don't know if anyone's ever ran into the problem where you get to your receiver but we have no in-network fuel stops for like 40, sometimes up to 80 miles away. I have come across that once. I can't remember exactly where I was at, but it was a pretty good distance, and yeah, it wasn't fun. The whole red light gang is alright to save money on fuel, but my personal opinion about running the red light is you're sucking up all the gunk that the tank builds up on the bottom, because the fuel pump goes down and there's always that bottom 5 gallons to 10 gallons that doesn't get really used. And basically that's where all the gunk goes from bad fuel or anything like that. Dust gets inside from fueling or anything, So you don't want to really suck that into your fuel pump, because not only can you ruin your fuel pump, you can also ruin your fuel filter. If you find yourself replacing your fuel filter more often than normal, it's probably because you're running your fuel down too low or you're picking up bad fuel. Another thing I like to follow is don't fuel in the south to go and run the north. So yeah, Texas may be, let's say $2 a gallon, and up north in North Dakota is like $2.50 a gallon. Yeah, the logical thing would be to fill up at $2 a gallon, but if you make sure you got to check your weather and make sure that the coldness isn't going to get too cold to the point where it could gel your tanks. The thing about south fuel is it's not treated like it should be, like it is in the north. If you ever really want to look at the difference, look at how you're pumping. Actually pull the pump a little bit out and you can tell from the way the fuel looks. Down in the south it's more white or clear, which means there's more water in it. Up in the north areas where it's actually treated, it looks more green because it gets colder up there, so they actually treat it so that their tanks at the fuel stops don't gel up themselves. But that's how I normally fuel. Every now and then, if it's getting into the teens on temperature, I will put in some Howes, which is a anti-gel solution, kind of like Power Services that Prime recommends. I've always used House, but I mean, I guess they both work just as well. So I've never had any issues with either. I've done Power Services when I was a company driver. But the key thing is you're going to want to keep a couple jugs of, anti-gel with you, but also the emergency stuff. The 911 from Power Services will help you out a lot, especially if you gel up. So I'll probably see if I can post any pictures of what I'm talking about with the anti-gel and the emergency services. I'll post both House and also Diesel Services stuff. But other than that, I know a lot of people, they like to figure out how to get their cents per mile really, really low. I average in between 10 to 14 cents per mile, which is, really decent compared to some people out there that I, come across. I also come from a truck before coming to Prime that could barely get 5.5 miles to the gallon because of, it was a Cummins and it was an 04, and it was also a 379. So anytime I see anything over 8 miles to the gallon, I'm excited. So that 10 to 13 cents per mile, I don't know how they figure all that out. I'm pretty sure because, I was just recently in Michigan, and I know Michigan has a high fuel tax, just like Pennsylvania. And normally I'll get, a few $100s worth of give back from the IFTA. So I'm still trying to figure all that out, how Prime really does dictate their whole cents per mile on the app. Not 100% focused on that because, every week I look at my settlement and I'm not spending that much in fuel like it says I'm doing. So I guess I'm doing something right compared to what they're saying. So, but other than that, if you have any questions or want to know anything else of what I can teach you along the way, please leave it in the comments. And I also wanted to make an announcement that when we get to 500 subscribers, I am going to go ahead and do another giveaway, a subscriber giveaway. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully we can reach that amount pretty soon. Until then, Heathens was here, and I'm out. All right, this is House lubricated. This is what I use for my fuel. Diesel 911 for emergencies if you gel up. And this is the regular anti-gel from Power Service, which still is a pretty good company.